Hey fellas, welcome to the Daily Dash. I'm Dash, and it is time to do the daily. Looks like we're going to be eating today. Real quick, let's take a look at where our friends are at. Oh, looks like Flex did it today. He came up in, 9,000 someplace. And then let's look at the other day that I did it. 811 is what I ended up at the other day. Yeah, I missed 2 since then, just because of stuff. And, yeah, so 811. I am pretty happy with that score last time, so let's see what we can get this time. I really like Eden, and so it's, it's always exciting. So we got, this is a bad start. So our tiers are okay, I guess. Our tiers are acceptable. Particularly, looks like the damage is acceptable on them. But BBF and Isaac's tiers are 2 of the horse shittiest items in the game. And friendly fly friend zone, this thing, okay, it looks like they might have actually made this thing better. This thing was a joke before, but it looks like it's actually serviceable now, so that's good. But Isaac's tiers, no good at all, so hopefully we can make better use of them than other people do. And get ourselves a better score. You know, we have the same chance as everybody else, is what I'm saying. You know, any crappy rolls, hey, everybody else got the crappy roll too. So if we can roll crappy better than they can, then we do better. You know, I would honestly say probably that I think my chances to do well in a game would increase the harder it is, because I think that I am somebody who is maybe not the best person in the world at optimizing my play, but I can at least and so what that means is I give, whoa, that's kind of weird that BBF does it that way. What I'm saying is that yeah, you know, it might be a thing where, given the best circumstances, I don't optimize the best circumstances the best, and so I will get a lower rating, while if it's a really hard challenge that's in front of me, perhaps I can just kind of force through it with skill, and end up doing better. So, you know, that's a thing that I guess this will be the first part of our experiment to see whether there's any credit to that. I am definitely going to not go into the curse room until after we fight the boss, just in case it is something that would hit me twice. Geez, just like that. You see, historically, I actually have been a bit of a shitty Larry versus Junior fighter. Larry Junior fighter. So, yeah, I think it was best of me to do it that way. Whoops, didn't mean to pick that up. I didn't think that the box was going to drop so many things. And when I saw the number of things that were dropped ahead of me, on top of me, over me, above me, I figured that there wouldn't be anything below me. And it turned out to be the one thing that I was looking out for, which is a full heart, because I did not want to waste a half heart. But oh well, that's how the cookie crumbled. We also got Gimpy, though, so that is pretty fantastic. Should also make up for any red heart troubles that we have. It's Monday, it's hard mode day, and we only have to beat Mom's heart, which means I should be playing just a little fast and loose to be able to get to the ending as quickly as possible, because we're not exactly going to need a game-breaking run in order to come to victory here. So it's going to be up to who can do it the most efficiently. I am glad I missed the trapdoor there, because I would have missed that nickel. A nickel! Okay, these I'm not... nah. Let's put some of these in here. Oh, you know what? It's better than Isaac's tiers for now. How about that? Like right here, look at that. We can get ourselves a tinted rock and 5 cents. Red, just demon heart or black lipstick, or demon tail, I mean. Not the Luca Turilli song. She has a demon heart. Yeah, not that one. That was possibly the worst Luca Turilli impression that has ever been sung upon the earth, but needless to say, I don't think very many people know what I'm talking about, so I think we're in the clear there. Speaking of metal bands that people have seen live in the past. Boy, that is one loose transition, but point is, I had a buddy who saw Luca Turilli live, as well as Camelot, I believe, Camelot with a K, and said it was a really good show. I recently saw King Diamond, which was the best thing, easily the best concert I have ever seen. It was absolutely phenomenal. King Diamond is one relatively old guy, and when I say relatively, I mean relative to how well he is belting out these high-pitched falsetto notes that he wrote back in the 80s, and and is now singing them just as well in the 2010s. It is incredible. He performed the entire album Abigail, which a lot of people say is the best King Diamond album. It is definitely up for debate. However, I think it is probably my favorite. And then that was about half the set. He also performed a bunch of other songs, including some Merciful Fate songs, which is King Diamond's other project. Very similar to King Diamond, but, you know, just a little different. Now, we're just going to pop all these pills here, and I think that that turned out quite well for us with a health up pill. And, so yeah, that was a great show. Now, speaking of really good shows, though, and speaking of what comes to mind when I think what are some of the best shows I've ever seen, I was just talking at some length last daily, about Screaming Mechanical Brain. And, you know, I should say, back when you were able to see them live, because they were a band, they put on some nuts shows. They just had an insane energy to them, and their fans, the people who listened to them, and went to their shows, you know, there was that one part of the crowd that I talked about a little bit last time, but then there was also the heaviest moshers of any band I've ever seen. I mean, when SMB played, basically the entire... I mean, it's a pretty small crowd because they played at a small venue, because they were a small band, but they would get that entire place in just one giant mosh pit, usually a circle pit. That it tended to go that way. If you don't know, a circle pit is like it's like a tornado of souls. It's just a bunch of people in a just whipping around in a circular motion, having a great time. You know, just running into each other, and generally the people around have to kind of keep them in a little bit, and then they also... you know, there's always a couple people that kind of cut through the middle, and then there ends up being a couple people that are going the wrong way, so people are just crashing into each other, but generally there's just this big circular motion. It's really fun to be in, especially because here's something that a lot of people might not know about a good old-fashioned metal mosh pit, is that you don't usually get hurt in them. I mean, you might get bumped on the head, and get a little dizzy. Your glasses might get bent if somebody's, you know, if somebody has an elbow or a hand, a palm in the wrong place. Or if somebody's way too drunk, which usually there is one guy who's way too drunk, you might get torn to the ground while they start to fall over and desperately cling at the nearest body. But you don't really get hurt. In fact, there was one time recently that I was in a mosh pit, and I got, and I fell over, like, on my ass, and about 3 people just instantly created a phalanx around me, grabbed both my arms, and ripped me back up and pushed me back into the middle. So, like, I just felt, you know, there was no danger there, because, you know, people recognize when someone is maybe at risk for getting hurt, and yes, they assume the position, they form the phalanx and pull you to safety. There was also one time, I think it was at a Polka Dot Cadaver, or a Dog Fashion Disco show, a girl fainted right in the middle of the mosh pit, and was just instantly picked up and carried out in like a crucifix powerbomb kind of position. So, it's just funny that a lot of people assume that it's just this super, super dangerous thing, but I mean, people are very mindful of that. People want to keep moshing, you know, and there's nothing that'll stop a good mosh pit like somebody actually getting hurt, or somebody vomiting. That can be an issue too. Don't vomit in the mosh pit. It's a dick move. There was one time I saw Dog Fashion Disco, and a little band called Nuisance opened for them, and they were like a new metal band, you know, not necessarily something I was super into, so I was kind of watching from afar. There were a good like 4 or 5 guys though that were moshing around, and one of them stops, just like you're watching the mosh pit, and one guy just kind of stumbles away for a second with like this blank look on his face as he stares off somewhere else into space, and it's like, what the hell is that guy doing? Is he confused? Did he take a knock on the head? What happened? And then he just bends over and pukes on the ground, and whoa, we are suddenly at a very small amount of HP, thanks in no small part, I am sure, to BBF, who is just doing all kinds of work on making sure that this challenge today actually is challenging. Whoa! Oh! And we died right there. And still got 3,900th. I mean, that's pretty bad, but I've had worse, and it seemed like it was worse than that. Damn, I guess today's daily was cut pretty short. I fucked it up. I straight up, I fucked it up. I passed out in the middle of the mosh pit. Here's the score screen to carry me to safety, and you know, let me think about whether I can still handle these things at my ripe old age of 25. So, how did we end up doing? Looks like I did a little better than Flex. Looks like he didn't make it very far at all. Probably that shitty Isaac's Tears start. Isaac's Tears BBF start is, that's probably going to catch a lot of people off guard. So I did pretty poorly. We'll see how I end up actually having done tomorrow. But yeah, until then, thanks for watching, and thanks for enjoying another Dash's Shitty Music podcast. You know, I would have liked to get into a couple more things, but the run was cut unfortunately short. So, thanks for watching, and hey, if you watch these on YouTube but you ever find yourself on Twitch, I think I'm gonna go stream some Metroid, and you know, there's usually a good long play on Twitch happening. Back to Metroid Prime today is what I think I'm gonna go do, set up the green screen and have some fun with that. So, thanks so much for joining me, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye!